Welcome to all. First of all, thanks to Gurukulam for conducting a online lecture competition. So thanks to Gurukulam. Myself, S. Mallesh, lecturer in commerce from TTWRDC MEN Karimnagar. Today now I am going to give a presentation on marginal costing and break-even analysis, which is useful to become third year students. Before going to explain marginal costing, now I'm going to explain the branches of accountancy, not deeply, only a brief introduction. So, branches of accountancy. We have a five branches, and majorly as per book, five branches of accountancy. So, first of all, financial accounting. Second one, cost accounting. Third one, management accounting. Fourth one, human resource accounting. Next, fifth one, inflation accounting, social responsibility accounting. So another one is added recent development. So uh, up to degree level, financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting. These three branches are studied by the students. So now I am going to explain accounting definition, financial accounting. So, financial accounting as per ASCPA, the art of recording, classifying, and summarizing in a significant manner in terms of money transactions and events which are at least in a financial character, and interpret the results thereof. The definition tells us transactions and events which are at least financial character monetary terms, and those transactions and events which can be measured in monetary terms. Such transactions and events are recorded in the books of accounts, financial accounting. Non-monetary transactions, non-financial transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. The art of recording, classifying, summarizing means art of recording. Every transaction has a record as a debit and credit, general. But from that classifying and normal account, real account, personal account, so ledger, posting in the ledger. Then based on the ledger, we can prepare the uh, trial balance. Based on the trial balance, we can prepare the final accounts, a trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet, and interpreting the results thereof. It is the definition. So transaction means here giving and taking. Event means no giving, only one side. And a happening of event, happening, any incident is happening. Like closing stock. Closing stock is nothing but an event, not a transaction. So transactions and events which are financial character, monetary terms only record in the final accounting. It is the major limitation of the financial accounting. Next one, financial accounting major emphasis on trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet. So here, financial accounting depend upon the 12 months data. It is at a past data. So trading account what tells us what are the sales made during the last 12 months, what are the purchases are made last 12 months, what is the opening stock, what is the closing stock. Next, profit and loss account reveals what are the expenses are made, what are the expenses incurred during the last 12 months, what are the incomes earned last 12 months. So it is based on the historical data, how much profit is made during the 12 months period, how much loss is made during the 12 months period. So it reveals by the profit and loss account. Balance sheet what tells us what are the liabilities, what are the assets on a particular date. It is generally prepared on the end of the financial year. So how much assets are on a particular date, how much liabilities are on a particular date, it reveals. So it is completely financial accounting is a post-mortem analysis, and after that whatever the transactions are occurred last 12 months, such transactions or events are taken and preparing the trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. So financial accounting information is useful to insiders and as well as outsiders, owners, management, employees, and creditors, investor, government, and income tax banks. So it is. So financial accounting major limitations. It is record only monetary transactions. Non-monetary transactions are not recorded. Next, financial accounting is a post-mortem analysis, not a futuristic approach. So it is tells only the past data only. So next, financial accounting give the profit or loss during the last 12 months. It is company whole. It representative a company whole. Not tells us the department was not activity wise, not product wise. So not product wise information is not available. Not process wise information is not available. Not activity wise information is not available in financial accounting. It is the major limitations. So these limitations are overcome by the cost accountancy. So next, another branch of accountancy is a cost accountancy. So cost accountancy generally used in the manufacturing industries, production industries, processing industries, service sector. So where the goods are produced, where the goods are manufactured, where the goods are processing, in industries, cost accountancy is play a very big role. Nowadays is a very competition, very heavy competition from China. In that situation, cost accountancy play a very big role in the manufacturing, production, processing industries. Example, Sirpur paper mill. Uh, so our chief minister directly announced in the assembly, Chinese companies are giving a paper a less price then compared to our Sirpur paper mill. That's why I am unable to reopen the Sirpur paper mill. So cost accountancy used to control the cost reduction. So whatever the limitations in the financial accounting, these are overcome by the cost accountancy. So next, the costing nothing but a technique and process of ascertaining the cost. So technique and process of ascertaining the cost. How much cost of the product, how much factory overhead, how much factory expenses, how much office expenses, how much selling and distribution, what are the direct material, what are the direct labor, what are the direct expenses to produce a particular goods and services. This ascertainment of cost is nothing but a cost accounting. Sir, costing, nothing but a costing. What are the objectives of cost accounting? Here, cost accounting objectives to ascertain the cost on per unit basis, nothing but what is the cost per kg, cost per liter, cost per ton. These are all find out by the cost accountancy. So cost accountancy reveals the information cost per product, cost per unit wise, how much cost per kg, how much cost per ton. This information revealed by the cost accountancy. It is not possible by the financial accountancy. Next, cost accounting helps in determination of the selling price. Whenever you calculate the total cost of the product, based on that you can fix the selling price. So this information is not available in the financial accounting, but cost accounting provide the detailed cost sheet. Then based on the you can fix the selling price of the product. Cost accounting helps in cost control and cost reduction. So many firms are unable to survive in the market because of cost control and cost reduction. So heavy competition in the market nowadays. Suppose Chinese products, MI, example, MI phone, very good features available at 10,000 rupees only in the market. But our Indian phones, whenever come to Indian company phones, Indian mobiles, Micromax example, is quality products is not available within the 10,000 range because there is no cost control, there is no cost reduction, and there is no technology. So it is a very helpful to cost control and cost reduction in the industries. Cost accountancy very useful in the industry sector, manufacturing sector. Nowadays very heavy competition. So whenever you can control the cost, whenever you can control the cost reduction in the production process, automatically your cost of the product is reduced. Whenever your cost of the product is reduced, automatically your price is also low. So then you can survive in the market, you can compete in the market to the rival products. Next, cost accounting helps to ascertainment of division wise, activity wise, process wise, product wise profitability. So financial accounting does not reveal the such information, but cost accountants reveal the activity wise, division wise profitability. Next one, cost accounting helps to find out the wastages, inefficiencies, loopholes in the production processes. Then you can overcome the loopholes, inefficiencies, reduce the wastages. Then your cost of the production is reduced. Next one, cost accounting helps to management to take the decision making. So cost accounting data helps to the management to take a decision making. Which product is give a more profitable, which product cost is very high, how to reduce, and when make or buy decisions are taken on based on the cost accounting information. Next, cost accounting also help in estimation cost for the future cost is financial accounting. Already I said financial accounting based on the past data. Cost accounting helps based on the cost for the future data. So estimation is possible. Next one, difference between financial accounting and cost accounting, just briefly. So financial accounting majorly finding the profit or loss or balance sheet during a particular year. Cost accounting emphasis find out the cost of product, cost of services. It is major emphasis. Next one is the financial accounting give a reports to the insiders as well as the outsiders. Insiders like a management, shareholders, outsiders like a banks, investors, creditors. But it is a cost accounting is purely internal reporting system. It gives a report to the management. Gives a report to the management for decision making only. So financial accounting here both internal as well as external. But in cost accounting purely internal reporting system. Financial accounting data is a historical in nature. Financial accounting data is a historical in nature. I already said cost accounting data historical as well as futuristic approach. Futuristic approach. Then financial accounting is major emphasis on classification based on the transaction, salaries, how much salary it is. But here cost accounting activity wise, process wise, division wise classification made. Next one, financial accounting transactions recorded which can be the financial account recorded the transaction, those can be measured in the monetary terms only. So only recorded the monetary terms. Here monetary terms those transactions are measured in the monetary terms, such transactions are recorded in the financial accounting. Cost accounting monitoring terms as well as quantitative information, how much units of goods sold, 100, 10, 100, sorry, 1000, 10,000 units. Financial accounting units are not recorded, only rupees. How much sales in rupees are recorded, how much purchases in rupees recorded, not quantity, how much units of purchase, how much purchase of goods, and units in the terms of units are not recorded. But here cost accounting units, 1000 units purchased or 1000 units are produced, how much sales are made, 10,000, 100 to 200. So units as well as rupees are recorded in the cost accounting. So financial accounting major emphasis and true and fair view of the profit and loss account as well as financial position, nothing but balance sheet. So a true and fair view only emphasis on profit and loss account and financial position, balance sheet. In cost accounting, true and fair view of the cost of production or services offered by the firm. So cost of production, whether it is correct or not, it is the major emphasis. Financial accounting comes under financial audit. So those who have completed CA, chartered accountancy, those who have practicing chartered accountants done financial audit. Cost audit is done by the CMA. Those who have practiced CMA, such persons are done cost audit. So it is the major differences. Differences majorly financial accounting deals only past data. Cost accounting past as well as future. Financial accounting recorded only monetary terms. For cost accounting, monetary as well as quantitative. For financial accounting, major emphasis on profit and loss account, balance sheet. Here, cost accounting, major emphasis on cost of product and cost of service. Financial audit and cost audit. It is the major differences. Next one, management accounting. Management accounting is nothing but it is a taken the data. Management accounting taken the data from both financial accounting as well as cost accounting. Financial accounting as well as cost accounting. So management accounting is depend on both financial accounting as well as cost accounting. So what is the use of management accounting? Management accounting system which helps the management to improve their efficiency. Management to improve their efficiency. So nothing but it helps the management in planning, controlling, analyzing the performance of the organization. So management accounting helps to the management in planning, controlling, analyzing the performance of the organization. So management accountancy take the data from the financial accountancy as well as cost accountancy. So so nothing but management accounting completely helps to the management to take the decisions, to formulate the policies of the organization, to formulate the plans of the organization. So it is management. It is also one of the another branch of accountancy. So financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting. These three branches are studied by the BCom and undergraduate level. Uh, so next, differences between cost accounting and management. Why management accounting is raised? So some limitations in the cost accountancy, some limitations in the financial accounting overcome by the cost accountancy, and cost accounting has some limitations. These limitations are overcome by management accounting. So cost accounting record the only quantitative aspects, only quantitative, and I already said units, 1000, 2000, and data, quantitative information is available. But here management account both quantitative, qualitative, also qualitative, and interpretation the results, and suggestions also given by the management accounting whether it is correct or not, which one is good, why. These are the suggestions are given by the qualitative, suggestions are not given, decision making is not possible in the cost accountancy. Next, to cost accounting record the cost of product and providing the services, but here in management accounting providing the information for management, to management for planning and coordination. It is the differences. Only deals with the cost asset. Cost accountancy deals with only cost ascertainment, how much cost for a product, how much cost for a rendering the services. So it is the limit. It is a wider scope when compared management accounting has a wider scope, include the financial accounting, budget planning, taxation planning. These are wider scope compared to the cost accountancy. Next, cost accountancy is both fast and figures, but management accounting is completely projection for future. Management accounting is not past. Management accounting is for future projection. It is completely futuristic approach. Next, it is industrial level. Cost accountancy is in the industrial revolution, so it is used in the industry also, and service sector. It developed accordance with the management accounting, developed accordance with the modern business world, modern business law. What are the developments? So management accounting arises. It follow cost accountants follow certain rules, but management accounting does not follow the certain rules. So simply differences. Cost accounting only record the quantitative information, does not give the suggestions, also interpretations, but management accounting give a suggestions and qualitative information, and which one is correct, which one is not correct, and interpretation is also available in the management accounting. So cost accounting only deals with the past and futuristic, but is management accounting completely futuristic approach. Next, cost accounting emphasis on the how much cost for a product, how much cost for the service, but here management accounting is a planning for the it is helpful to the management for planning and coordination. So it is the major differences between cost accounting and management accounting. Next one. So before going to marginal costing, just I explain the briefly is cost. So two elements of cost. So we have a three elements of cost: material cost and labor and other expenses. Any production and any material, sorry, any finished good, this composition and material, labor, other expenses. So material is the 60% of goods, labor is the 30%, other expenses 10 to 20% in nowadays. So material is again classified as a direct material and indirect material. Labor again classified direct labor, indirect labor. Other expenses again classified as a direct expenses and indirect expenses. So here direct material is those material directly identified with a given unit of product. Suppose pen, in ink is a direct material, and ink, blue ink or black ink, it is a direct material. So whenever see the pen directly, you can identify the material. Indirect material, those material are not directly identified with a given unit of product, and a product, and whenever you see the product you can't identify the material, such material called as the indirect material. Next one, direct labor and indirect labor. Until the indirect labor, indirect material, lubricant, cotton waste, small pins are In labor, direct labor, those labor directly engaged in the production process at a factory level, such workers are called as a direct labor. Indirect labor, those labor not directly engaged with the given unit of product. And watchman, attender, office boys, office staff, this comes under indirect labor. These are comes under indirect labor. Other expenses, direct expenses, indirect expenses. Direct expenses are directly charged with the given unit of product. Indirect expenses not directly charged with the given unit of product, not allocatable. So direct expenses, drawing expenses, royalty, example like. Indirect expenses, rent to salary, auditing fees, these are. Next, all direct material, direct labor, direct expense called as a prime cost. Prime cost is nothing but a variable cost. These costs directly changed according to the production level. If production increase, direct cost increase. If production decrease, variable cost also decrease. Next, all indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expenses are called as overhead. Overhead is also called as on cost. All indirect called as overhead. Overheads again classified as a factory overhead, office overhead, selling and distribution overhead. Office overheads incurred at the factory level. Factory overheads are incurred at the factory level. Office overheads are incurred at the office level. Selling expenses are incurred for execution of selling orders. So, okay, it is only briefly for your next one, simple cost sheet. So, all direct material, direct labor, direct expenses are treated as a prime cost. Next to prime cost, we have to add the factory cost. Then we arrive the cost of production. Sorry, factory cost. Then we arrive the then we have to add the office overheads and administration overheads. Then we arrive the cost of production or office cost. We have to add the opening stock of finished goods to cost of production. From the cost of production, we have to deduct the closing stock of finished goods. Then we arrive the cost of goods sold. We have to add to cost of goods sold selling and distribution expenses. Then we arrive the cost of sales. From that cost of sales, we have to deduct the sales. Then we arrive the profit. It is a simple cost sheet. So your understand purpose before going to marginal costing. It is a total cost is taken into consideration. Total cost here. Okay. Next, casting methods and techniques. Casting methods and techniques. So, casting methods, those methods helps to compute the cost of production or services. Those compute the cost of production or services offered. So, different types of industries, job costing, contract costing, not a small industries, different types of industries. Some contract, some are big industries, manufacturing industries, some are small industries, some are processing industries, some are pharma industries, different types of industries. So, different types of production processor adopted. So, costing methods useful to compute the cost of production or services offered. And example, costing methods is job costing. We have a job costing and batch costing, contract costing. Job costing, it is used in the small industries. Example, furniture. So job costing where used and products are manufactured according to the customer specification and as per the customer order, products are manufactured. Example, furniture make industries. In that industry, job costing is used. Batch costing, pharma industries. Example, if you see the pharma tablets in a sheet, in batch number 10, batch number like that 20 is there, and contract 10 tablets put in a one sheet, that is one sheet that in backside batches. Batch cost and its batch number is then cost is 10 tablets, 100 rupees, like that. Contract costing is used in the external roads and bridges where the work is undertaken outside the factory. Unit and output costing, cost it nothing but process costing where the products are produced in a different stages. Then only final products are come. Service costing majorly used in the service sector. Example, road transportation, railways, these are hotel industries, is hospitals. Next, costing techniques. So marginal costing, standard costing, budgeting, absorption costing, uniform costing. So marginal costing. Now I am going to discuss about marginal costing. So costing techniques means which helps the firms presented data in a particular manner so as facilitate the decision making as well as cost control and cost reduction. Here costing methods only helps to compute the cost of production in a different industries. Costing techniques is the present the data in a systematic manner for decision making as well as cost control and cost reduction. So some techniques are used in the used and present the data. This data is useful to the management to take a decision making and as well as how to reduce the cost, how to control the cost. These are called as the costing techniques. So how many techniques we have? Majorly marginal costing, standard costing, budget and budgetary control, and absorption costing and uniform costing. Next, now I am going to major topic marginal costing. So marginal costing is a nothing but it is a technique of costing. It is nothing but a technique of costing. So marginal cost means here the aggregate cost change. The aggregate cost change due to change in the level of output by 1 unit by 1 unit. So marginal cost is nothing but a variable cost. Okay, so marginal cost is defined as the amount of any given volume of output by which aggregate cost can be changed if the volume of output is increased or decreased by 1 unit. So 1 unit. So what is a definition? A definition what tells us? I give some example. I give some. I take one example. Change in the aggregate cost. So change in the aggregate cost. Change in the aggregate cost due to change in the volume of output by 1 unit. So example, number of units produced 800, cost per unit to 10 rupees, variable cost per unit 10 rupees, total 8,000 rupees, total cost 10. So if units are increased by 1 unit, ante 801 units produced. If you produced 801, automatically your cost is 8,010 rupees. Your ante whenever units are increased, cost also increased. So whenever units are decreased from 800 to 799, 1 unit is decreased. Example. So automatically your cost is also reduced, 7,990 rupees, 10 rupees decreased here. Here 1 unit increased, so automatically 10 rupees increased. So here 1 unit decreased, cost is also 10 rupees decreased. So 1 unit increase or decrease, cost is also changed according to the production. So that is the definition. Marginal cost is nothing but a change in the aggregate cost due to change in the level of output by 1 unit. Okay, unit, and if you change it, if you increase 1 unit, automatically cost is also increase. If decrease 1 unit, automatically cost is also decrease. So why 10 rupees? And if you increase 1 unit, 10 rupees increase. If you decrease 1 unit, 10 rupees decrease. Why? What is the variable cost total change, but variable cost per unit is same, fixed per unit and always fixed. So I will explain later. So it is the marginal cost. Marginal cost is nothing but a variable cost. Nothing but these costs are changed according to the production level. According to the production level. Production increase, cost is also increase. Production decrease, cost is also decrease. It is nothing but a marginal cost. So marginal cost is nothing but a variable cost. So next one, basic characteristics of marginal costing. Next one, basic characteristics of a marginal costing is, it is a very important. Uh, it is very different from another costing. So marginal costing, total cost divided as a fixed and variable cost. Total cost is divided as a two, fixed and variable cost. Fixed cost and variable cost. Next, variable cost are treated as the cost of the product. Variable cost are treated as the cost of the product. So variable in marginal costing, what is the cost of the product? And only variable cost are taken into consideration. Fixed cost are not taken into consideration. Fixed cost not at all taken into consideration. Only variable cost are taken into consideration. Next, fixed costs are treated as the period cost charged to profit and loss account. Costing profit and not financial accounting. Costing profit and loss account. So fixed costs are treated as a period cost. So it is incurred for a particular year. So it is treated as a period cost. Example, rent, salaries. So it is treated as a period cost, and now profit charged to profit and loss account, not charged to the product. cost, not charge, not including the product cost. Only variable cost are taken into consideration. Next, the stock of finished goods and work in progress are valued at variable cost, marginal cost only. So stock of finished goods, whenever calculate the closing stock, whenever calculate the work in progress cost, only completely based on the variable cost. So variable cost are only taken into consideration while calculating the closing stock, while calculating the work in progress. Next, price of the product is fixed on marginal cost only. In marginal costing technique, price of the cost, the cost of product is fixed, and the price of the product, sorry, price of the product is fixed on the variable cost only, marginal cost only. So whenever fix the price of the product, we taken only based on the variable cost only, price of the product is fixed. Okay. Fixed cost is not at all taken into consideration. Fixed cost is not taken into consideration. So it is the basic characteristic of marginal. So simply marginal costing is a cost can be divided in marginal costing technique. Cost can be divided into two. Okay, fixed cost, another one variable cost. Variable cost only taken into consideration. Fixed cost is not taken into consideration in marginal costing. So variable cost, while calculating the closing stock, while calculating the work in progress, while calculating the cost of the product, only variable cost is taken into consideration. While fixing the price of the product, variable cost only taken into the consideration. It is the basic characteristics of the marginal costing. Next one, difference between the absorption costing and marginal costing. So absorption costing, I explained before the cost sheet, elements of cost. Why I explained cost sheet, elements of cost? Because understanding the difference between absorption costing and marginal costing. That's why I explained the briefly cost sheet and elements of cost. So absorption costing, in absorption costing, total cost divided into a direct, indirect overheads, fixed overheads, office overheads, semi-variable overheads, direct, indirect, these are the overheads. Sorry, office overheads and selling overheads. So in absorption costing system, costs are classified as a direct and indirect. But here marginal costing, costs are classified as a fixed and variable. In here absorption costing, all are taken into consideration, whether direct cost or indirect cost or all are taken into consideration. But here marginal costing, only variable costs are taken into consideration. In marginal costing, sorry, in absorption costing, while calculating the cost of finished goods and finished goods closing stock valuation, all costs are taken into consideration. Fixed, variable, direct, indirect, all costs are taken into consideration. But in marginal costing, closing stock is valued only on based on the variable cost only. Fixed costs are not taken into consideration. It is the difference between absorption costing and marginal costing. So closing stock in absorption costing calculated based on the total cost. In marginal costing is calculated only on the variable cost. Next, in absorption costing system, over absorption, under absorption problem is arised. But in marginal costing, there is no under absorption, no over absorption, because here overheads, fixed overheads are taken into consideration in absorption costing. But in marginal costing, overheads, fixed overheads are not taken into consideration. That's why marginal costing, there is no problem of under absorption and over absorption. But in absorption costing, under absorption and over absorption problem is arised. While calculating the cost of the product, all costs are taken into consideration. So see, simple cost sheet, direct prime cost, factory cost, office cost, selling cost. They include direct and indirect, fixed and variable cost. All costs are taken into consideration. Then only you can calculate the cost of the product in absorption costing system. But here marginal costing, cost of the product is calculated only on the variable cost. Fixed costs are not taken into consideration. Fixed costs are not is treated as a period cost, not allocated to the product. Only variable costs are taken into consideration. Only direct costs are taken into consideration. Indirect costs are not taken into consideration. Next, to price fixation. In absorption costing, price is fixed on the total cost. So see the cost sheet, all costs are taken into consideration. Then sales are deducted from the total cost. So selling price is fixed on the cost of the all costs are taken into consideration. Then only selling price is fixed in the absorption costing system. But in marginal costing system, cost of price of the product is only fixed on the variable cost, and while only taken the variable cost is taken into consideration, then based on the variable cost, price of the product is fixed. It is the marginal costing. It is the major differences between absorption costing and marginal costing. So simply absorption cost is nothing but a total cost is taken into consideration. There is no discrimination. Fixed cost and variable cost, all costs are taken into consideration. In marginal costing, cost is divided into two types, fixed and variable. Only variable cost is taken into consideration. Fixed cost is not at all taken into consideration. Only variable cost. Based on the variable cost, all closing stock, cost of the product, fixation of the price is based on the only variable cost. It is the marginal costing. It is the major difference in absorption and marginal, absorption and variable costing. So next one, fixed cost. Before going to understanding the marginal costing, fixed cost and variable cost nature is, first of all we have to understand the fixed cost and variable cost nature. Fixed cost also referred as a non-variable cost standard, and fixed cost is does not change according to the production level. It is a production, it is a fixed. So it's simply at a rent to building, building cost, purchase of building, these are the example of machinery purchase, fixed cost. So see the example. So if production increase 1000 to 2000, 4000, 5000, 6000, but total fixed cost is does not change. But fixed cost per unit is, if production increase, fixed cost per unit is decrease. If production decrease from 10,000 to 1000, 10,000 to 2000, automatically fixed cost per unit is increase. So fixed cost per unit is totally does not change according to the production level. It is a fixed, but per unit is, whenever production increase, fixed cost per unit decrease. Whenever production decrease, fixed cost per unit increase. It is the major features. Next one I will explain detail. Variable cost. Variable cost go change on according to the production level. Variable cost go change on according to the production level. So if production increase, variable cost also increase. If production decrease, variable cost also decrease. Suppose but variable cost per unit is fixed. So I will variable cost like this. It is production increase, variable cost also increase. So here I take one example. Variable cost and fixed cost differences. Variable cost and fixed cost. Variable cost is a totally vary. Variable cost is a totally vary according to the production level. If total variable cost increase, production also increase. Total variable cost decrease, production also decrease. But variable cost per unit is always same, fixed on per unit basis. But fixed cost futures, total fixed cost remain unchanged at all levels of production. But where fixed cost per unit is changed. So here 20,000 is the fixed cost. Any given volume of output, any level of production fixed. But per unit, if production units are increased, so fixed cost to decrease per unit. If suppose you 20,000 by 5,000, 4 rupees is the fixed cost per unit. Whenever production increased 5,000 to 6,000, fixed cost per unit decreased from 4 rupees to 3.333 rupees, 3 rupees, etc. If production units are decreased, where fixed cost per unit is increased. Suppose units are increased from 5,000 to, units are decreased 5,000 to 4,000, automatically fixed cost per unit increased from 4 rupees to 5 rupees. This is the features of fixed cost. Next one, variable cost, then semi-variable cost. So semi-variable cost is nothing but it is a part of fixed cost and part of variable cost. It is a combination of fixed cost and variable cost. It is a combination of fixed and variable cost. So it is a semi-variable cost is nothing but a stepped cost. So it is fixed at a certain level. After cross that certain level, this cost is variable. Next, up to certain level, it is fixed. After cross that level, it is also variable. Best example, electricity bill. 0 to 50 units is a sum rate. 50 to 100 sum rate. After reach the 100 units, 5 rupees are etc. So it is the semi-variable cost is nothing but is combination of fixed cost and variable cost. So whenever semi-variable cost given in the problem, we have to find out the variable cost. So we have a methods, comparison method, high low point method, equation method, average method, graphic method, least square methods available. Next one, introduction. And marginal costing is classified to basically fixed and variable cost. It already said. So in marginal costing CVP analysis, we have a four. Based on the contribution, we have four formulas: contribution, PV ratio, profit and volume ratio, break-even point, margin of safety, sales. So now we are going to discuss about it. So in marginal costing statement, income statement, marginal costing, sales minus variable cost contribution. Here, absorption costing, sales minus variable cost, fixed cost. So marginal costing, only variable cost are taken into consideration while calculating the cost. In absorption costing, variable cost and fixed cost both are dated from the sales, then arrive the profit. In marginal costing, profit is nothing but a contribution. Profit is nothing but a contribution. It is the difference between. Next one is the contribution. So next week we can discuss about the, now just one. Contribution is nothing but the difference between the sales and variable cost. Contribution is nothing but the difference between the sales and variable cost. Sales and variable cost. So contribution is also known as gross margin. Next, contribution is also called as a contribution is sales over the variable cost, is also called as a fixed expenses and profit. Contribution include the fixed expenses and profit. In generally, sales minus variable cost minus fixed cost, then we arrive the profit. But here only variable cost only dated from the sales, then we arrive the contribution. Contribution include profit plus fixed cost. So formulas, then we go to the advantages of contribution. So it helps the management in the fixation of the selling price. Say whenever selling price is fixation, fixed costs are not taken into consideration. Break even point and product mix, which product is better profit, and the limiting factor. Whenever key factor analysis, limiting factors, raw material limited, which product is give a more contribution, select that product. It is the useful to the management decisions. Contribution. Next one, contribution, sales minus variable cost. Already aside. So it is the marginal costing equation. So sales minus variable cost equal to contribution. That is nothing but fixed cost plus profit contribution. So then we discuss about the formulas of contribution. Now I am discuss. Contribution is nothing but the sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost is nothing but contribution. So S minus V. S means sales, V minus variable cost. Next, if you want per unit, selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. If you contribution and contribution includes, what are the items are including the contribution? Nothing but a fixed cost plus profit. So whenever fixed cost also dated from the sales, then we arrive the profit. But here fixed costs are not dated. Only sales minus variable cost. That names indicates contribution. What are the items included in the contribution? Nothing but the fixed cost plus profit. If loss, it should be deducted from the fixed cost. So we have a two formulas contribution. So that's why here sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost. Left hand side is contribution. Right hand side fixed cost plus profit is a contribution. We have a two formulas, sales minus variable cost, contribution. What are the items are included in the contribution? Fixed cost plus profit. That's why we have two formulas. Another formula is advanced formula, contribution equal to sales multiply PV ratio. Okay. Then marginal cost incomes. That's why income statement in marginal costing like this. Sales minus variable cost. Then we arrive the contribution. Then minus fixed cost, then only we have a profit. So here clearly indicates sales minus variable cost is a contribution. Contribution include what? Fixed cost plus profit. That's why contribution we have a two formulas. Above, to sales minus variable cost, below 2 plus fixed cost plus profit. If loss is minus, it is the contribution formulas. Next one is the PV ratio. PV ratio is nothing but a profit volume ratio. It is also called as a contribution volume ratio. So it is also called as a contribution volume ratio. It is contribution margin ratio. So P means profit, but in marginal costing, profit means contribution. That's why numerator is taken as a contribution. V means volume. Volume is nothing but a quantity, sales. So contribution by sales is nothing but a PV ratio, profit by value. Here in marginal costing, profit means contribution, value means sales. So contribution by sales, nothing but a PV ratio. So PV ratio, we have another formula. So just we have one formula. If you remember one formula, then we arrive the three formulas. So we are contribution, two formulas implemented. So contribution means sales minus variable cost. So PV ratio, another formula is sales minus variable cost by sales. Sales does not change denominator, but only numerator. Contribution means sales minus variable cost. So another formula, sales minus variable cost by sales. Then another formula, contribution, we have another formula, fixed cost plus profit by sales. So here only one formula, but we have the three formulas. So contribution by sales is the one formula. So contribution two formulas implemented in that formula. Contribution means sales minus variable cost, fixed cost plus profit. Then we have the three formulas. So PV ratio is nothing but profit volume ratio. Profit means contribution, value means sales. So contribution by sales, it is the PV ratio. PV ratio is a very useful technique to decide which product is profitable, which one is selectable. In decision making point of view, the PV ratio is very useful. Next, another formula, change in profit. Whenever 2-year data is given, change in profit by change in contribution, change in profit or change in contribution divided by change in sales. Next one is the break even point. So break even point. So break even point is nothing but there is no profit, there is no loss. And neither profit is earned nor the loss is made at that point. So total at the break even point, total cost and total revenue, total sales revenue equal to total cost. Total revenue equal to total cost. So that's why there is no profit, there is no loss. So break-even point units formula, total fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. So by BEP means fixed cost. Break-even point in rupees, fixed cost divided by PV ratio multiply 100. It is the formulas of BEP. Next, I will explain detail. Break-even point is nothing but at which sales volume there is total sales revenue is equal to total cost. Fixed cost plus variable cost equal to sales revenue. It is nothing but a critical point, balancing point. There is no profit, no loss, no profit, no loss point also. So that's why here some formula, break even point equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. So at a sales revenue at break even point, at a sales at break even point equal to fixed cost plus variable cost, there is no loss, no profit. So it is also formula already discussed in units is the. So once again, so nothing but BEP units. Formula is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. So contribution per unit is nothing but selling price minus variable cost per unit. Next, BEP in sales, fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Another formula, BEP in sales, BEP units multiplies selling price per unit. These are the formulas for the break even point. So whenever desired profit, how much sales to be required. So just BEP formulas are implemented. Just numerator we have to add the desired profit. So required sales in units, fixed cost plus desired profit divided by contribution per unit in unit side. If you want find out in sales in rupees, fixed cost plus desired profit divided by PV ratio. Next one, margin of safety sales. Margin of safety sales. Margin of safety sales. Margin of safety sales. Here, margin of safety sales is nothing but the sales over the break-even sales. The sales over the break-even sales is called as a margin of safety sales. Here clearly indicate margin of safety sales equal to total sales minus sales at break-even point. And the sales over the break-even sales called as a margin of safety sales. And break-even sales, there is no profit, no loss. Above the break-even sales, if you made above the break-even sales, such above break-even sales are called as a margin of safety sales. Margin of safety. Next one, margin of safety is the above the break-even sales. Okay, the formula is how to find out margin of safety sales equal to total sales minus break-even sales. Total sales minus break-even sales. Total sales minus break-even. Total sales minus break-even sales. So margin of safety sales formula is profit by PV ratio. Why profit is numerator? After the break-even sales, all are profit include in the sales. That's why profit by PV ratio in rupees. So detailed formulas. So margin of safety sales equal to actual sales minus break-even sales. For PV ratio and margin of sales in rupees profit by PV ratio. It is the formula. Next to detailed formulas, profit by PV ratio, and other one is the margin of safety sales divided by total sales multiply 100. Then we arrive the margin of safety ratio. It is the formulas of margin of safety sales. So we have a four formulas: contribution, PV ratio, margin of break-even point, margin of safety sales. So why total sales and contribution? We discussed about contribution at different sales levels. Contribution, total sales contribution equal to fixed cost plus profit. Contribution equal to here fixed cost plus profit. Why? If for example, total sales 5,000, selling price per unit 10 rupees, variable cost 5 rupees, to 50,000 minus 25,000, 25,000 is the contribution. Here fixed cost, example fixed cost 10,000, profit 15,000. These are clubbed together, contribution 25,000. Total sales, at the total sales, contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. At the total sales level, contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. But at the break-even sales, suppose I how find out the break-even అంటే ఇక్కడ చెప్పాను. Fixed break-even point formula, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Fixed cost 10,000, contribution per unit to 5, sales minus variable cost. Then wherever the BEP units is the 20,000 units. So here BEP sales అంటే 2000 ఇక్కడ here 2000 units. 2000 units multiply 10 rupees 20,000. Variable cost 2000 multiply 5 rupees 10,000. Contribution is sales minus variable cost contribution 10,000. So then we deduct the fixed cost 10,000. Then we arrive the profit. So here contribution include only fixed cost. Here clearly observe contribution include only fixed cost. Profit is zero. Here profit is zero. So at BEP level, at BEP sales, at break-even sales, contribution is equal to fixed cost only. Why? I give a clear example. Here contribution include only profit, fixed cost only. Okay, now here contribution include only fixed cost only. So clearly indicates us. Okay, here clearly indicates us. So here break-even sales contribution is called fixed cost. Why? Here best example, sales minus variable cost contribution 10,000 rupees. From that we have to get the fixed cost 10,000, zero. So contribution 10,000 equal to here fixed cost only. Contribution 10,000 equal to fixed cost only. Profit zero. So break-even sales contribution equal to fixed cost only here. Okay, right. Next one, margin of safety sales. Margin of safety sales means the sales above the break-even sales is called as a margin of safety sales. So margin of safety sales include only profit element. So here margin of safety sales contribution equal to profit only. Why? Because so here BEP sales are total sales are 5,000 units. BEP sales are 2,000 units. 5,000 minus 2,000, then we arrive the 3,000 margin of safety sales units. So 3,000 multiplied 10, 30,000 rupees sale. Variable cost 3,000 multiply per unit 5 rupees. Then we arrive the 15,000 variable cost. So from marginal cost we have to get the variable cost. Contribution is 15,000. So contribution is equal to 15,000. big fixed cost is not deducted. Why? Fixed cost are already covered at the BEP level. Fixed cost are already covered at the BEP level. BEP sales low already fixed costs are covered. Fixed costs are deducted at the BEP. So BEP means total sales equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. Fixed costs are already deducted at the BEP level. In margin of safety sales, only we have to deduct the variable cost only. Already BEP fixed costs are covered at the BEP. Margin of safety sales only include the profit. This contribution is nothing but a profit. So at margin of safety sales level, contribution is equal to profit only. It is the best example also I give it. So at the total sales level, contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. At the break-even sales level, contribution is equal to fixed cost. At margin of safety sales level, contribution is equal to profit. That's why it's total sales level PV ratio means profit by volume ratio. Contribution, profit means contribution. Fixed cost plus profit or sales minus variable cost taken. At BEP formula, numerator is fixed cost is taken. Why fixed cost is taken as a numerator at the BEP level? So fixed cost only covered BEP at the BEP level, contribution equal to fixed cost. That's why fixed cost is taken as a numerator at the BEP formula. In margin of safety ratio, profit by PV ratio. Why profit is taken as a numerator at the margin of safety sales? Because margin of safety sales level, contribution equal to profit only. That's why profit by PV ratio. Profit is taken as a numerator in the margin of safety sales. Okay, it is the background of the contribution and formulas. Okay, next one, break even analysis. So break even analysis. So break even analysis is nothing but a CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis. Break even analysis is nothing but a CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis, CVP analysis. So break even analysis is nothing but a CVP analysis also. So here clearly indicates, 1 minute. BEP, volume profit analysis, often regarded as the break-even analysis. So CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis, also called as a BEP analysis. So assumption of BEP analysis. All element of cost, production, administration, selling, distribution, overheads, all are segregated to fixed cost and variable cost only. Fixed cost and variable cost. Variable cost remain constant per unit output services, but directly portion totally change directly to the production level. But fixed cost remain constant at all levels of output, but fixed cost per unit is always variable. Selling price remains constant at all levels of output. It is one of the assumption. Selling price constant. Volume of production is the only factor influence on the cost. So next one, introduction is break even, how much sales volume. So break even analysis useful to how much sales to be made at the break even. Whenever how much sales to be made when from there is no loss or there is no profit. If you want a break even sales no loss no profit, how much sales required to be made, break even analysis very useful. So and at break even point, total revenue equal to total revenue and total sales equal to total cost. So already I explained, variable cost remain constant per unit, fixed cost are remain constant, selling price constant all levels of unit, only value of production influence on the cost. It is the assumptions. Next, uses of break-even analysis. Break-even analysis are uses. It is helpful in deciding the minimum quantity of sales. And if you want no loss, no profit, if you want survive in the market, how much sales is required to be made. Helpful in the determination of the tender price, quotation prices, and helpful in the profitability. How to maximize the profitability. Helpful deciding, decision making, substitution productive, make or buy decisions, and price quantity determine the marginal cost. These are the helpful to the break-even point. So break-even point is nothing but already at that point no profit is neither profit is earned nor the loss is made. That point is called as a break-even point. A break-even point, total sales equal to total cost. So I explained. Uh, so if you break even, if you sell below the break even, loss is occurred. If you sell above the break even, profit is earned. So break even below sales at the loss. If you sales above the break even, profit is earned. Next, I take one example. I clearly explained it. Uh, 1 minute. Application of break-even analysis. Example, I take a selling price per unit 10 rupees, material cost 3 rupees, labor 4 rupees, total 7 rupees. Total 7 rupees. Variable cost. Fixed cost rent 1000, insurance 500. Total fixed cost 1500. So BEP. First, we have to calculate the BEP in units. What is the formula? BEP formula: fixed cost divided by selling price minus variable cost. Fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. So 15,000, 1500 is the fixed cost in this example. 10 rupees is the selling price. Variable cost per unit is the 7. So 1500 minus 3, 500 units. So BEP units is the 500. So I explained BEP analysis chart by this example. So 500 units is the BEP. Units is the BEP is the 500 units. At this point, break even point. At this sales point, break even point. At which sales volume, 500 sales volume, there is no profit, there is no loss. sales sales line intersect with the total cost line. Both are intersect at this break even point. I clearly explain one more example. So in this chart, above chart, in this chart, 1 minute. Hmm. Here, break-even analysis chart. In this chart, one second. In B, 500 is the break-even point. 500 units is the break-even point. Units are taken in x-axis, and rupees sales, variable cost, fixed cost are taken y-axis. So, uh, in the above formula, 500 units is the break-even point. So, 500 units. So, 500 units total sales price 10 rupees, 5,000 rupees. So, 5,000 rupees here sales. And variable cost to 3,500 multiplied 7, 3,500. Contribution 1,500. Fixed cost to 1,500. Let's just say no profit, zero. Profit is zero. Loss is also zero. So, at break-even point, total sales equal to total cost. Total sales line intersect with the total cost line at the break even point. At 500 units, total sales 5,000 rupees. Total cost 3,000, variable cost 3,500, fixed cost to 1,500. 3,500 plus 1,500 is also 5,000 rupees. So total sales revenue 5,000 rupees equal to total cost to 5,000 rupees. So at this point is called as a break even point. At this point, firm no profit is earned, no loss is made. That's why it is called as a break even point. If firm sold below the break even point units, below the break even point, this area below the break even point, example 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, 400 units, if we sold below the break even point, loss is occurred because sales are less, cost is high. So that's why if you sold for below the break even point units, firm get a losses. If you firm sold above the break even point units, at above 500 units, at 600, 700, 800, 900, if you sold, firm get a profit. So if you sold above the break even point units, firm will get a profit. So this area is called as a profit area. Okay, this is a profit area. So above the break even sales, what called break even sales, above sales are called as a margin of safety sales. This 600, 700, 900 units are called as a margin of safety sales. So it is the line, it is indicates fixed cost line. Fixed cost is not changed according to the production. 100 units at the 100 units level, 1500 is the fixed cost. At 900 units level, 1500 is the fixed cost. Fixed cost does not change according to the production level, but variable cost is the change according to the production level. Okay. So next, it is called as a margin of safety sales. So profit includes the margin of safety sales. Next to angle of incidence. So angle of incidence is nothing but after the break-even point. The angle of incidence arise between the total sales line and total cost line. Angle of incidence is arise. So here, so example here, this gap. Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is nothing but indicate the profit earning capacity of the business. If angle of incidence is more, profit earning capacity of the business is also more. If angle of incidence is very low, profit earning capacity of the business is also very low. So here angle of incidence is very low, profit also low. Here angle of incidence is that between the gap between the total sales line and cost line is more. So it indicates the more profit. So it is break even point. So break even point is nothing but at which sales volume total sales equal to total cost, variable cost and fixed cost, that is called as a break even point. If you sell below the break even point, loss is occurred. If you sell above the break even point, profit will be earned. The above the break even sales called is a margin of safety sales, and profit is included. The angle of incidence is nothing but it is the gap between the total sales line and cost line. If angle of incidence indicate profit earning capacity of the business, angle of incidence is indicate the profit earning capacity of the business. It is intersect to each other at a sales line and cost line. So if angle of incidence is more, profit earning capacity of the business is more. If angle of incidence is low, profit earning capacity of the business is also low. So angle of incidence is where arises under, it is between the total sales lines and cost line after the break even point. Here you clearly explain the angle of incidence. Angle sales line and cost line form break even point where the sales line and total cost line intersect each other. Okay, it is. Next one, why if below the break even point is loss is made, if above the break even point profit is earned. I explained clearly with example. So break even points units are 500. Here no loss, no profit. But if you sell 500 below 400 units, so selling price per unit to 10, 400 units multiply 10, 4,000 sales, variable cost 7 rupees, 4,000 multiply 7, 2,800. I give selling price per unit 10, variable cost per 7 rupees, fixed cost 1,500. I take. So sales minus variable cost contribution is 1,200. Fixed cost, from that contribution we have to take the fixed cost 1,500. Then loss 300. So if we sell 400 units, if we sold 400 units below the break even, that's why loss is made 300 units. It is clear. If you sold above the break even, at a 500 units is the break even. If you sold above 500 units, at example high sale 600 units, I take example 600 units above the break even. In that situation, 600 multiply selling price per unit, 600 multiply 10, 6,000 rupees is the total sale. Variable cost per unit 7, 600 units multiply 7, 4,200. Then contribution arises 1,800. From that we have to take the fixed cost 1,500. So then we arrive the profit 300. So above, in this situation, in this example, we sold 600 units above the break even sales. That's why profit is there. If you sold below the break even, loss is made. So it is at the BEP, total sales equal to total cost. That's why no profit, no loss. It is the break even analysis chart. So it is limitations. So limitations, this BEP limitations are also there. So BEP analysis only the supply side, not the demand side only. It is only supply side analysis. And it assumes the fixed costs are constant, and fixed costs are constant is okay. Fixed costs are constant, but in between the year, maybe another building is purchased, another machinery is purchased, that are not taken consideration. It is variable cost are constant per unit or output escalate in the, it is also one other uh, limitation. So some limitations are there, but it is very useful to the break even analysis, is the very very useful in the industries. And also whenever going to take a decisions, whenever going to take a decision, so it is very useful to the management. So how much sales required to be made whenever from firm in break even, and if you sold break even, and then farm is continue. If you farm in loss, then and a farm will be shut down. So it is very useful technique in the CVP analysis, a very useful technique to the management to take a decision making point of view. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you for good club.